The story begins in the middle of the ocean, where a floating research lab has been set up. Scientists and a group of tourists are partying and enjoying themselves, when suddenly, a girl notices something moving fast toward their ship. What she sees freezes her blood. A six-headed shark is heading straight for them. Before anyone can react, the monstrous creature attacks a scientist and devours him alive. Panic spreads instantly. The shark climbs onto the platform and starts killing people one by one, turning the celebration into a nightmare. Now the scene shifts to a nearby island. Here, a man named William has organized a relationship camp called Heart of the Matter. William runs a company that focuses on strengthening romantic relationships. He believes couples can truly understand each other only when they face challenges together. This time, he has brought 4 couples to the island. William explains that they will be given physical and emotional tasks, designed to test trust, balance, and teamwork, because only then can they understand what's missing in their relationships. The first task involves crossing a high arch-shaped structure. William calls Kip and Angie to go first, but instead of working together, they try to climb separately. The arch begins to shake, and both of them lose balance and fall. They fail the task. William asks the group why they couldn't make it. Duke says maybe their bodies weren't cooperating. His girlfriend Daphne says the arch itself looks impossible to cross. William then asks for a volunteer. No one steps forward, until Mary, who has trained in gymnastics for 12 years, confidently raises her hand. William explains that the challenge isn't about individual strength, it's about supporting each other. He takes Mary's hand, and together they climb the arch. This time, their combined balance keeps the structure steady, and they successfully complete the triangle. Everyone cheers and applauds. William smiles and says, "The one thing that holds us together is love." That's exactly what we're here to teach. But not everyone is happy. James, Mary's partner, feels jealous seeing her with William. Because of that anger, he refuses to climb with her, so Mary crosses the arch alone, successfully. Seeing this, the other couples also manage to cross the structure. Next, William prepares the second task. He asks his teammates, Brad and Rebecca, to bring supplies to a floating platform. He tells the couples that to get food and essentials, they must dive into the ocean and reach the platform themselves. Because of sharp rocks, boats can't reach the shore. James and Rebecca start loading supplies onto surfboards and move forward across the water. But they're not alone anymore. The six-headed shark has reached the area, and it begins following them beneath the surface. Meanwhile, William swims out to meet his wife Susan, who has arrived with her friend Mac. Susan tells William she wants a divorce and no longer wants to work with him. William tries to remind her that they built the company together. She was the therapist, and he handled the operations. But Susan doesn't want to hear it. She demands a clear answer. Will he sign the divorce papers or not? William hands over the papers. Before leaving, Susan warns him, "Be careful. The ocean weather is about to turn bad." He returns to the island. Back in the water, Rebecca and Brad suddenly feel something brush past them. They lose balance and fall. When they look back, terror strikes. The six-headed shark is right behind them. They have no chance to escape. Within moments, both of them are brutally killed by the monster. Meanwhile, we see all the couples getting ready near the shore, putting on their swimming wetsuits before entering the water. Jake tells his girlfriend Wayne that he wants their lives to be filled with unusual experiences. That's why he wants to explore the island more closely. He mentions a secret laboratory near another mountain, a place where top-secret experiments on animals were conducted, with results so strange that they were never officially revealed. Wayne immediately shuts him down. She says she has no interest in visiting some crazy scientist's lab. Their goal is to reach the platform in the water and collect food supplies, nothing else. She also warns Jake not to believe everything he reads online, because not all information on the internet is real. Jake argues that he learned about the lab from the dark web. Wayne responds firmly, that place isn't safe, and they're not going anywhere near it. At the same time, William is trying to contact Brad and Rebecca on the walkie-talkie. There's no response. He starts getting worried and rushes toward the shoreline. That's when he notices a shoe floating near the water, Rebecca's shoe. As he picks it up, his hands begin to shake. Inside the shoe is a severed human foot. William is horrified. Now he's sure something extremely dangerous is hiding in the ocean. He immediately runs to warn everyone. Meanwhile, all the couples are swimming fast toward the floating platform. Everyone manages to climb onto it, except Mary, who is still behind. The others cheer her on, trying to encourage her. William is swimming in the same direction. Suddenly, blood begins spreading across the water. Panic explodes. Floating nearby is a dead body. Everyone freezes in fear. Mary is terrified, but William quickly helps her onto the platform. That's when William realizes the truth. The body belongs to Brad. Fear takes over completely. Jake says this has to be a shark attack. Duke adds that he suspected this area might be a great white shark zone. William says the only way to survive is to reach the boat because that's their only escape. But the problem is, they'll have to swim to get there. The group panics. They shout that William is trying to get them killed. William explains that the water level here is very low, and the seabed is filled with sharp rocks, so the boat can't come closer. Instead, they can push the floating platform toward the boat. Reluctantly, everyone agrees. Working together, they start pushing the platform forward. Eventually, they reach the boat and climb aboard, safe for now. James says they need to leave the island immediately, but William isn't convinced. So far, they've only found Brad's body. Rebecca might still be alive. Duke agrees. He insists they must search for her. He also says he wants to kill the shark, because becoming a shark hunter has been his dream since childhood. Duke asks for a flare so he can make a bang stick. Everyone thinks this is insane. Daphne begs him not to go. She's terrified, but Duke says he's the real predator here and tells her to trust him. He and William head back toward the island. He confidently tells William that once he jams it into the shark's head, the shark will be dead. William reminds him that their real goal is to find Rebecca. He starts calling out her name. Suddenly, Duke senses movement in the water. William warns him not to provoke the shark, but Duke responds coldly. Rebecca was with Brad, and if Brad is dead, Rebecca must be dead too. To attract the shark, Duke cuts his own arm and lets the blood drip into the water. Back on the boat, everyone realizes what Duke is doing. Daphne is horrified. They start moving the boat toward him, but it's already too late. The six-headed shark rises in front of Duke. Without hesitation, Duke stabs the bang stick into one of its heads. He smiles, thinking he's killed it, but he has no idea what he's dealing with. This isn't a normal shark. It's a six-headed monster. The creature attacks instantly and brutally kills Duke. Everyone screams in terror. Then something even more horrifying happens. The shark tears off the damaged head, the one Duke attacked, and throws it away. This creature can regenerate its body. Seeing this nightmare unfold, William realizes there's no hope left here, and he runs. Meanwhile, the boat suddenly crashes into a massive rock and gets completely stuck. The engine dies. They can't move forward anymore. William sees the group from a distance and swims back toward them as fast as he can. The boat is clearly trapped. William tells everyone that the only option left is to swim back to the island, because that's the only place where they might survive. Everyone is terrified, but there's no other choice. One by one, they jump into the water and swim back to the island. As soon as they reach the shore, everyone turns on William in anger. They blame him for trapping them on this island. To make things worse, dark clouds begin forming overhead. Wayne looks up at the sky and freezes. She tells everyone these are mammatus clouds, a dangerous weather formation. She explains that storms hidden inside these clouds can create violent winds and even tornadoes, strong enough to sink the entire island. Kip asks how she knows all this. Wayne replies calmly, "I'm a meteorologist." That makes everyone panic even more. Now the island itself isn't safe. They desperately need shelter. Jake suddenly remembers something. He says there's a laboratory nearby built on floating docks. It's been there for nearly 40 years. Because it floats with the water level, it might survive the storm. He also believes the lab might have a radio and weapons. With no better option, everyone heads toward the lab. After walking for a while, they finally reach the floating laboratory. But the place is wide open and exposed from all sides. They begin searching for a radio to call for help. The lab looks abandoned and destroyed. Wayne says the storm is getting worse, but she thinks they might survive here because the structure is still stable. Kip disagrees. He says the place doesn't feel safe at all. There's blood everywhere. Clearly, people died here. Jake finds something even worse, a shark skeleton. Fear spreads across his face. He apologizes to Wayne, saying he's sorry for bringing her here. He admits that the dark web often spreads fake information, and this lab is nothing like what he expected. Then he realizes something terrifying. This must be the place where the six-headed shark was created. Meanwhile, William and Mary find a radio. William tries to contact emergency services, telling them they're trapped on Isla Corazona, but there's no signal. The radio is useless. Mara confronts William. She asks if he knew a storm was coming. William admits he heard about bad weather, but thought it would just be light rain. He believed the challenge would force everyone to work together and fix their relationships. Mary tells him that the couples are planning to sue him. William responds honestly, "Whatever happens, I just want to make sure everyone survives." At that moment, James rushes in, saying he found something important. He leads them deeper into the lab. There, they discover research files about shark experiments. James explains that the six-headed shark was created here. Angie asks why anyone would create such a monster. James explains, sharks have the ability to regenerate their bodies. Scientists were experimenting on sharks to transfer this ability to humans. Some sharks can live over 400 years. If the six-headed shark isn't killed completely, it can heal itself, even regrow an entire head. Mary asks the question everyone is thinking. If it can regrow its heads, how do we kill it? Jake answers, "We have to destroy its heart. One soul, one heart. That's the rule of nature." Kip asks, "What if it regenerates its heart too?" Jake replies, "It can't. Destroy the heart and it dies for good." Suddenly, a massive wave crashes into the lab. Jake loses his balance and falls into the water. A heavy metal cabinet collapses on top of him. Wayne screams in fear. Everyone works together and manages to pull Jake out. Wayne hugs him tightly, shaking with terror, but it's too late. the six-headed shark has fully regenerated and attacks the lab. The monster grabs Wayne and begins tearing her apart. Jake tries to save her, but the shark kills him as well. Everyone watches in pure horror. William grabs a metal rod and attacks the shark, trying to slow it down. He yells at the others, "Get out of here, head south to the lighthouse." The shark gets tangled in chains for a moment. William keeps hitting it, buying time. Meanwhile, the remaining survivors jump into the water and swim desperately toward the shore, knowing this is their last chance to live. Just then, William hears a sound on the radio. A voice finally comes through. It's Susan. She managed to pick up William's signal. William quickly tells her that he's currently inside the old laboratory on the island. Susan tells him to stay where he is. She's coming to get him, but William immediately warns her not to come near the lab. He tells her to head toward the lighthouse instead, because the storm has trapped her in the same area. Then William reveals the truth. There's a six-headed shark hunting them. It has already killed 5 people from his group. He begs her to be careful. William then breaks down emotionally. He tells Susan that everything that went wrong in their relationship was his fault. She tried to fix things, but he never understood. He admits, "I still love you." Susan finally realizes that William truly regrets his mistakes. She tells him, "I'll meet you at the lighthouse." William leaves the lab and starts moving toward the lighthouse. Meanwhile, the remaining survivors have already reached the island. James spots the lighthouse on the far side of the island. They all start running toward it, but suddenly, the six-headed shark breaks free from the chains and comes onto the island chasing them. Angie freezes in fear and can't move. Kip tells her to run, but it's too late. The shark reaches them and bites off Kip's leg. Angie tries to save him, but the shark kills her as well. Mary wants to help, but James pulls her away. Now only James, Mary, and Daphne remain. They run toward the lighthouse. It uses 4 of them like legs, crawling forward in a horrifying way. Just then, William arrives. Using a weapon, he slices off one of the shark's heads and attacks it again. The shark retreats for a moment. William tells everyone, "We have to reach the lighthouse now." They finally make it inside the lighthouse, but the nightmare isn't over. The shark regenerates its severed head. James, William, and Mary go downstairs to restore power. Daphne, fueled by rage over Duke's death, runs outside. William finds the fuse box and starts fixing it. James discovers a rifle inside a cabinet. He confronts William, saying, "I know something is going on between you and Mary." William denies it, but James snaps and tries to kill him. William reacts just in time and removes the bullets from the rifle. Mary arrives carrying a large cylinder. She explains, "This lighthouse is very old. I found acetylene tanks. They were used to power the lighthouse light." William realizes, "We're going to need those." He and Mary begin collecting the tanks. Outside, Daphne reaches the shore. Overcome with anger, she starts screaming. Suddenly, the six-headed shark swallows her whole. At the same time, Susan arrives near the island with Mac. She spots the lighthouse. James also notices the boat approaching and tells William and Mary. William immediately recognizes Susan, but then they see the shark circling the boat, creating a water tornado. Susan and Mac panic. William runs outside the lighthouse to help Susan. Susan jumps from the boat just in time and swims toward the island, but Mac doesn't escape. The shark drags him underwater and kills him. Susan almost makes it to shore, but the shark catches her. Right in front of William's eyes, the monster kills her. William collapses, crying in shock and grief. Mary pulls him back and tells him, "We have to get away from the water." William wipes his tears and makes a final decision. "I'm ending this. Tonight." He goes to James and explains the plan. "I'll lure the shark out of the water. We'll spread the acetylene tanks across the ground. When the shark follows me, you shoot the tanks. If we do it right, we end this thing once and for all." And together they carry the acetylene cylinders outside the lighthouse. They begin planting the cylinders into the ground, but the six-headed shark starts moving toward them. William and Mary split up, trying to distract the monster and lure it directly toward the cylinders. Suddenly, Mary notices something terrifying. James is about to shoot William. Panicking, Mary pushes William out of the way just before the gun fires. At the same moment, the shark charges toward them. James realizes what he's done and tries to save Mary. He shoots one of the shark's heads. The beast roars in fury. With another head, the shark rips off its own damaged head and hurls it toward the lighthouse. The severed head slams into James and explodes, killing him instantly. Now only William and Mary are left alive. Wounded but not dead, the shark retreats, but they know it will come back. William notices something important. Their boat has broken free from the rocks and is drifting. He shouts that this is their chance. They grab the remaining acetylene cylinders and rush toward the boat. They climb aboard, carrying the cylinders with them. But when William tries to start the engine, nothing happens. The boat won't start. William dives down to check the engine. Water is leaking inside. The hull has been damaged. Meanwhile, Mary ties all the acetylene cylinders together. She finds a knife and attaches it to a metal rod, creating a makeshift spear. William comes back up and says, "The motor's dead." That's when Mary looks up and sees the shark charging straight at them. The shark climbs onto the boat and attacks. Mary strikes it with her spear, forcing it back into the water. But the monster isn't done. It starts attacking the bottom of the boat, trying to sink it. William dives down again. As the shark rips into the hull, William stabs it repeatedly with the spear. Mary joins him underwater. During the struggle, the acetylene cylinders fall into the water. The shark tries to bite William's leg, but William smashes a cylinder into its body and pulls free. The cylinders become embedded into the shark, stuck along with the spear. William and Mary rush back to the surface. William grabs the flare gun. They jump off the boat and swim toward the shore, dragging the acetylene cylinders with it. William and Mary reach land and climb up onto the rocks. The shark crawls after them, using its heads like limbs. They hide behind a large rock. The cylinders get wedged between the rocks, holding the shark in place. William loads the flare gun, takes aim, and fires. Boom! A massive explosion tears through the monster. The six-headed shark is blown apart into pieces. Two of its heads fly through the air and finally fall lifeless into the sea. The nightmare is over. William and Mary stand there in silence, breathing, alive. They've defeated the impossible. At last they leave the island behind, free from the terror that took so many lives. Sometimes survival isn't about strength. It's about standing together until the very end. If this story kept your heart racing, hit like, share it, and subscribe for more insane movie breakdowns, because the ocean still has secrets.